Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again. Another edition of Inside the Headset. It's week 6, game 6, but we are in game 5 here at Oakland High School. And I got across the table from me, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots, Coach Kevin Creasy. Coach, Friday night, I was there, you was there, team was there, everybody was there, and got away with a win. And talk a little bit about the big game that you was involved in on Friday night.
Yeah, huge game, huge win. Great for our program. Glad to get away with a win. It was a tough fought game, like we thought it would be. We talked off camera and said it's probably going to be a 14-13 ball game, and probably should have been, but it ended up 21-7 our favor, and can't complain about that.
Tail of the tape, you were able to review the video and everything. Talk about some of the things that you thought you did real well in that big matchup, and some of the things that you were just like, man, we got to work on that.
Well, we left there feeling like we had a lot to work on. Not satisfied, not fat and happy. We went back to work, and real proud of our guys' effort. First thing, if we want to talk positives, that was our best effort game of the year. We felt like we've played with hard determination and effort all year, but they stepped it up a level. They moved it up a notch, and that's what you got to do in big ball games, especially when the district championship could be on the line. You have to be determined. There's still a lot of games left, but everybody's talking about that may be the game, to decide who's going to the playoffs, who's representing the first seed and stuff like that. We know that that's going to be decided week 10, but at the same time, we knew that we had to play one of our best games, and for the most part, we played our hardest game. We played as hard as we could, and we sold out and felt like there was a lot of mistakes, but if we were making them, we were making them full speed.
After the game and everything, what kind of? I know they got a really bad injury. They lost a kid probably for the rest of the year. How did you end up? When you go into one of those big games, that was the one thing I was fearing. I told you that before. And win or lose, I wanted both teams to come out healthy, but it's almost inevitable. One of them's somebody's going to end up with one when you go into a big collision like that.
Right, and we have a couple guys that'll be out a couple weeks.
Okay.
Ty Nix had an injury. Cameron Massigo had an injury. We had about 4 starters hurt, but it was just a physical type of ball game.
Yeah, it was.
And unfortunately for those two, they'll probably be out for a couple weeks and maybe longer. Hopefully we'll get them back pretty quick, but. And it was unfortunate about Blackman's player. He is a really talented player. Made a heck of a catch right before that.
Yeah.
And, it's part of the game, unfortunately, but we hope that he gets a speedy recovery because he is a key component to their offense.
Smack talk, senseless penalties, didn't see any of those Friday night. It seems like, and I think, are we cleaning it up overall in Rutherford County? Because we've kind of been known to get a little bit jagged at times.
We've something that we've made a point of emphasis, we're not completely clean. We did have a 15-yard penalty over a throat slash or something. I don't know. They get confused on this and that, and I'm really not a big fan of any of that.
Right.
Especially when you get a 15-yard penalty tied with it. So it's not our first of the year over something that deals with celebration. A little disappointed. A lot of times referees will look the other way on a touchdown celebration.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. If you take one on an interception return 80 to the house, they don't say a lot about celebration. They kind of expect it. But if you make a tackle, or you bat a ball down, you do something that's expected of you. There's no use to celebrate or no use to talk. So we're a little disappointed in that. A lot of that comes with maturity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've still got a ways to go on that. But we're real proud of our team. I love my team. I love the way they compete. A lot of times if they are doing some talking, they'll back it up, and they better. But with that said, all the jabbing and talking and after play celebrations, there's no use in that, no need in that. And like I said, we are addressing that. Progressively, we've gotten better. Unfortunately, we've started the season with several personal fouls. And we're down to 1 last week, so hopefully next week we'll be down to 0.
Well, so we've talked about injuries. We've talked a little bit about the game. What So now we've got, you're in the middle of homecoming week, which is always fun and everything. So what's been going on? What have you been working on this week to get ready for your next opponent before we discuss them?
Well, went back to the drawing board on Saturday, watched the film, evaluated, graded our guys. Sunday came up with a game plan for Coffee County. Coffee County's a very talented team. Went down to the wire with Riverdale, 21-20. Missed an extra point, missed several field goals to win the game. Had a chance to win it at the very end. So, another quality opponent that we respect and that we've planned for, and hit the ground running Monday. Had a big JV game with Blackman that we ended up winning, but we practiced our JV. They went through 2 hours of practice before they ever got on the field, and they had to get our varsity better, and that's what we did Monday. And like I said, we're not taking this homecoming opponent lightly. We know that they're a very dangerous opponent that could ruin a lot of things that we set up for ourselves by winning this past Friday. So we don't want to, milk the cow and then go kick the bucket over after we're finished. We want to make sure that we finish this thing the right way. We want to make sure that we take care of business Friday, and all this homecoming stuff I don't think really distracts us. I think it's on the head coach to make sure that they're focused. And
well, you do want, like you said, you do want them to have fun. This is their week. This is their week. They'll never get to do this again. But at the same time, go ahead.
Yeah, we want them to participate. We want them to be a part of it. They have homecoming because of a football game. A lot of people, make sure that the football players have nothing to do with it. We want them to participate, but we want them to understand the most important thing is still the football game.
Right.
And we've got to take care of business. And like I said, it's one of those things you really never know what's going through a 16-year-old's head, but we try to get these guys focused on the task at hand. We've brought up several teams that have won big games and then turn around and just hurt themselves the very next week. We've talked about the Miracle on Ice. That wasn't the gold medal game. After beating the Russians, they still had another game that they had to win. So it was all for naught if they didn't win the gold medal game. So we're talking about that daily. We're reminding those guys that they put themselves in a good position, but they still have a long way to go. And it's not just this Friday, it's every Friday night from here on out.
Seems like your team is starting to gel a little bit amongst the kids and whatnot. As I'm on the sidelines, I noticed Nix was out with his shoulder, but there he is. He's on the sideline. He's participating on every timeout, talking to his players, telling them what to do. Just it seems like to me you're starting to get a little bit of gel for this 2015 team.
Right, and it usually a lot of times through adversity, a team comes together. And I thought it was big that, Ty's over there hurt and he comes back and he's coaching up the guy that's taking his spot, and he's encouraging guys to get up on the sideline and get excited. So he's leading by example, and that's what we expect of a senior. And like I said, the biggest thing is these guys are kind of coming together and understanding that the team success is the most important thing. Trying to get in the playoffs with a good seed is more important than where they rank on some prospect list.
Yeah.
All that stuff will take care of itself.
Sure will.
Our team success is most important, and those guys are buying in. And like I said, it's taking some time, but they're starting to enjoy each other's company. They're starting to care for each other. They're starting to like each other, and they like the fact that they're having success.
Yeah, and you talk about that, being on, there'll be some kids that will go out in the first round and they are a heck of an athlete and everything, but like you said, they're not really participating in a team to get to the next game so you can perform one more time to I guess you would say, juke those stats or get them up a little bit. You got to have another game to perform in order to get in the column, right?
That's right. And, they do a great job around here of covering high school athletics. They're in the paper all the time, And
it'll probably be the only time that they're going to be in the paper. We don't want them in Section B, but right now this will be the most publicity. They don't really get it. This will be the most publicity they get.
That's right, and it's good publicity. You know what I'm saying? Not all publicity is good publicity. I don't care what they say. So we're happy that they're in there for good reasons. And the thing about it is, it's a big deal. High school football is a big deal around here, and so we're happy that our guys are succeeding. They put in a lot of work, and it's good to see the benefits of hard work, and they're starting to see that. But with that being said, we got a long way to go. we've still got plenty of work to do, and we've got a long way to go to become the team we want to be. We're not there yet.
All right, I talked with Ron a little bit yesterday. He played Coffee County, as you mentioned, and of course now you've got, people have to understand, now you've got a copy of Riverdale's tape. You'll be playing them later on, so you're getting to look at them, they're getting to look at you. Y'all are there's all this stuff going on. He said they had a heck of an athlete back there at quarterback. You've got to see him a little bit on video. Is he a wildcat guy? Has he got some help? Ron said he had a little help.
Yeah, they've got a couple good backs. One plays linebacker for them on defense. He's a really good defender, and the other back is really speedy. So it's more than just the quarterback.
Yeah.
And the quarterback, I've heard, is getting a lot of college looks, and just a sophomore. Good size, big, tall, long kid, and then of course he's fast and quick. He's not just fast; he's quick as well. So he's always a fast moving target. It's hard to get a hit on him. It's hard to tackle him well. You got to tackle him in groups, and we got to work on swarm tackling, kind of like we did last week. And luckily, we've been working for a couple weeks on swarm tackling, and it paid off for us last week. And of course, that's the only way you can really stop him. He's completed more passes against Riverdale than he probably has anybody, and they threw it when they had to throw it. And ran it when they wanted to run it, and that's a kind of a scary team, you know what I'm saying? They didn't just throw it up and hope for a prayer. They threw it when they wanted to, and were pretty successful at it, and ran it when they wanted to, and were pretty successful at that as well. So he's an option quarterback. He can option it out of the gun under center, and he's a weapon, and just a sophomore, so he's a weapon for years to come.
Defensively, what will they like to do? 52, 43? What are they?
Well, we've seen them in some different things. They're multiple on defense, and they're a pressure defense. That's the thing we've noticed about them, is that they're not afraid to bring pressure, and they'll bring 4, they'll bring 5, they'll bring 6, and they'll make you know your assignments on offense, and they'll exploit them if you don't watch out. So we're really looking forward to the challenge of a pressure defense coming after us and seeing if we can handle it.
Kicking wise, you said they missed some extra points. Is that one of the areas they seem to be struggling in, or can't get the key in the ignition, or what?
Well, earlier in the year, I think they made some big field goals and some extra points. So for them to miss those, I think it was one of those things that was kind of uncharacteristic early in the game, and kind of got probably in his head a little bit. Same thing happens on our side of the field as well. So we had some struggles in the kicking game that we're having to shore up, and we're going to try to improve on. But like I said, again, 16-year-old minds, you just don't know exactly what's going through there. A lot of times it's like a good defensive back. It's like a shortstop. They're going to have a short memory and get over it, because pouting or feeling sorry for yourself really does them no good.
What do you, in your past in coaching and stuff, and you see a kid that gets mentally distraught, whether it be a kicker or a punt, or somebody that misses 2 field goals that shouldn't miss 2 field goals, or starts to unravel, so to speak, what do you generally, in your coaching past, if you learn to try to talk to a 15, 16-year-old kid, what do you like to do? What do you like to talk to them
Well,
about?
usually that means that I need to quit screaming at them, because they're pretty well off punishing themselves, you know what I'm saying? They understand that they screwed up. So, a lot of those kids that are so hard on themselves, you don't necessarily have to be the guy that bears the bad news for them. They already know what's going on. You do need to remind them of what they did wrong and how they can improve upon it. You don't just need to bash them on how could you drop that ball. You might want to tell them what they can do the next time.
Or maybe you didn't get a good hold, I mean, and then that's another discussion.
That's right. And, like I said, a lot of times these guys beat up themselves. Our big thing is understand what you've done, try to improve on it before it happens again. But pouting and running around feeling sorry for yourself has never done anybody any good.
Friday night at 7 o'clock right here, Red Raiders anything, and you're in homecoming week, and you'll be glad to get that over. And I thought Friday night, thank goodness we didn't have TV, because I think that just makes a high school game go almost like a college game. It gets a little out of control. Any special activities, anything, or will we move pretty quickly once is homecoming before, or?
Well, it's pretty much before.
Okay.
And that's kind of unique. I think they've usually done it at halftime. what we're doing is recognizing some people beforehand
Okay.
at 6:30, and some of our football players are actually participating in it, so
Good.
that's a good thing. And then at halftime, they'll be in here participating and making some halftime adjustments. But I think they're officially naming the queen at halftime.
Okay.
So it's kind of a two-part step in which they're going before the game at 6:30.
Little ceremony, and
right?
then we're going to
And
make
then
you wait till
at
halftime.
At halftime, it's going to be on. So
Okay.
a lot of people are going to be interested to see who gets crowned and all that sort of thing. But
Oakland
as
do a
well-
king and a queen.
I'm not sure. I'm quite certain there's a queen, but I'm not sure what they're doing at halftime because they let me focus in on doing football things at halftime. They gave me the schedule for before the game, so I know at 6:30 you better be in a seat if you want to see the ceremonies. And then at halftime, I get to do football things, and they get to do the crown.
Saturday played youth football. Week before that had hoop and cough or stomach virus or something with your center. Did you come away with a win?
We did, and we couldn't have done it without our center. Center played a great part.
Talk
in the
about
game.
that. Just talk about it. You told me right off. It's first play of the game. I mean, how important is that center position even in high school and youth football? And
That's
it cost you a win. The week
That's
before.
right. My son had about a 2.5-year win streak going, and then all of a sudden the stomach bug hit the center, and he actually went to the ER. So he's,
Oh, my
doing, he's
goodness.
doing a whole lot
Oh,
better.
good. I
But
know.
he's a big old kid and dominant on both sides of the ball. And I asked Kyler who his backup center was, and he said, "I don't think we got one." And I said, "We're in trouble then." But they lost to a good Hendersonville team, in which they'll probably see again in the playoffs. But it made a huge factor losing one person. And
Yeah.
Again, team sport. You're only as good as your 11 guys out there. I thought the kid that stepped in did a really good job, but you can tell you missed one of the better players. And it doesn't matter if it's pee-wee, high school, professional. If you lose a stellar player like that, it makes a difference and it affects your team. And luckily, he came back this week. They went against, I think it was East Nashville. It might have been West Nashville. I'm not sure. We went to Montgomery Bell Academy.
All right,
played on
NBA.
the turf and won 13-12 on a quarterback sneak right behind the big center on 4th down. Got the first down, and it was a big win. So we're proud of our young Pats. That's what they're called, Oakland's Young Patriots, and representing well. And those 8-year-olds, like I said, they're like 5-1. So we can relate to that. We're hoping,
I done a little triple C.
we're hoping to get on up to 5-1, and like I said, we're hoping to stay healthy as well.
Who you got this Saturday?
I'm not sure. Again, I don't know.
Remember, you're only told to be where
Yes.
you're supposed to be.
I'm told what time I need to be there, when I need to leave the field house, and where we're going. So I'm not sure who we're playing, but I know they got a few more games, and then the playoffs start.
All right. Always appreciate your time. All right, right here, 7 o'clock Friday night, Coffee County Red Raiders and the Oakland Patriots. Y'all be here.